Hey, how about Tangled? Well, I might already be working on that. I said, a year ago. Sometimes it takes me a long time to do things, okay? I'm sorry. Shush. Disclaimer, this series revolves around criticizing things, and the fact that I'm doing that doesn't necessarily mean I dislike the thing. Thank you. Click below to watch the original Sins video, or to buy Tangled.
A single drop of sunlight fell from the heavens, and from this small drop of sun grew a magic, golden flower.
Small drop of sun traveled 93 million miles to f up the rules of photosynthesis.
No? There's plenty of science this flower here is breaking, but it's not doing any weird photosynthesizing as far as we can tell. It seems to me like you wanted to make a science-based sin, so you just picked the first sciencey, planty kind of word you could think of.
Also, sunlight comes to Earth in beams, not drops. Everyone knows that.
Hey, are you ready for 14 straight minutes of someone applying real-life science to a movie about magical 40-foot hair? I know I sure am. Oh boy.
Mother Gothel hoarded its healing power and used it to keep herself young for hundreds of years.
How does healing power translate into reversing the aging process?
Come on, man, it's really not that far off. Do I really need to explain this to you?
Kingdom searched and searched, but they could not find the princess.
Kingdom is great at finding hidden flowers, but not so much at hidden towers.
This sin sounds like it makes total sense until you realize the flower wasn't hidden. In fact, the movie even goes so far as to show you a scene of Mother Gothel specifically not hiding the flower.
Wait, your hair is tied way up in the rafters somewhere. Doesn't it get tangled? Oh.
Yes, that probably is why this movie is called that. Thanks?
Apparently these thieves knew that you could pry open someplace on the top of the castle, find an easily removable panel, and Mission Impossible the way down.
It's almost as if they did their research first. Imagine that.
These guys somehow managed to get off the rooftops of the castle, run through the main part of the kingdom, and exit the town without any resistance.
Without any resistance? Well, that's an assumption based on almost nothing. It's almost as if when the movie doesn't show us something, you like to fill in the gaps with something that doesn't make sense, just so you can sin it.
They appear every year on my birthday, Mother.
See, Witch Mom? The movie's entire central conflict is due to you not just making up some fake birthday for your fake daughter you hoped would never realize she was the king's daughter.
Absolutely. I'm sure if she was told her birthday was on some other day, she'd never have any motivation to leave the tower.
This is also a decent time to ask what the witch's plan was for whenever her daughter got old enough to not take orders. Like, was she thinking she could keep 40-year-old Rapunzel here with scary stories about the outside world?
Yeah, that's what I was literally just saying.
How did this asshole not die and find the time to find a rock to hide behind?
Wow, that was a musically satisfying sentence. How did this asshole not die and find the time to find a rock to hide behind? Yeah, I like it. I might use that. I mean, I won't, because I don't do lyrics, and it's not a particularly good lyric, but it sounds good.
Despite the fact that it's fairly well hidden, I still can't believe no one from the kingdom ever found this place in 18 years. Like, they'll fire off lanterns on her birthday hoping she sees them, but can't scour enough land in that time to find a huge tower next to the waterfall?
What do you think would happen if someone did find the tower? Like, hey look, a random tower. You know what that means, right? The princess must be in there, because I can deduce this from looking at the outside of a tower. Like, no dude, I mean first of all, Mother Gothel would probably do her best to keep everyone out, but then, even if someone actually got in, Mother Gothel would still try to hide Rapunzel, and then, even if they did find Rapunzel, there's still no reason just from looking at her to assume that she is the princess.
Also, pretty damn convenient he shows up while Rapunzel's overprotective witch mother is gone, right?
No, it's not that convenient at all, considering she's out most of the time. Hey look, you even said that yourself.
You know why we stay up in this tower?
Well, she stays. You go out every day for great lengths of time.
Sinning both of these things is like having your cake, eating it too, and then giving a sin to the cake because no one had it or ate it.
But if you just...
Rapunzel, we're done talking about this.
Despite never once being a characteristic of their relationship, Mother Gothel constantly interrupts Rapunzel so that she can turn really evil and give Rapunzel second thoughts about how good her mother is.
My dude, Mother Gothel literally asked Rapunzel to never speak of this again last time she tried to bring it up. Of course she's gonna be acting like this, especially considering she's a massive cunt.
And when I promise something, I never, ever break that promise.
Man, I hope she promises to do me.
Wait, do you think she said when I promised to do something? Because that's not what she said.
I mean, cartoon do me. Wait, shit. I mean, I want to squeeze him.
Cool.
So, Rapunzel's hair wouldn't have been long enough for use as a means in and out of this tower until she was at least 10, or more.
I, for one, would love to know why Jeremy studied the properties of magical princess hair, because he's talking like he has a massive amount of authority on the topic. I'm not even disagreeing with the main point of this sin, just like, man, you pulled that figure straight out of your ass, didn't you?
Haven't any of you ever had a dream?
Somehow, this distracts everyone from taking Ryder and getting a reward. It's funny, but not realistic. And I demand realism from Disney fairy tale cartoons, damn it.
Oh, so now you realize you're doing it. I mean, that's cool and all, and clearly a joke. So, was it still a joke when you were complaining that a magical flower doesn't abide by the laws of photosynthesis? Because I don't think it was. You know what? No, that's unfair. I already added a sin for that earlier. I'll let you off this time, Jeremy. If that is your real name. Which it probably is.
Oh, lay off, Maximus. You suck, and you definitely suck at tracking. If you were on their trail, you would have found them by now. You've had 3 days.
I mean, saying things like that is well and good and all, but it's kind of undercut if you say it over the scene where he literally does find them. Surely he would have found them by now if he was any good at tracking. Oh look, he found them.
I can buy a horse who can sword fight? Certainly. But I know at some point near the end, you're going to make the climax feel all life or death and consequency. And I'll be the guy raising my hand at the back, clearing my throat, saying, sword-fighting horse.
Yes, because comedy and drama can never coexist. How could consequences and drama ever exist in a world so silly and whimsical? I was going to have more examples here than just BoJack Horseman, but I couldn't think of any.
You should know that this is the strangest thing I've ever done!
Said the guy who just improvised a solo verse of a spontaneous thug show tune on the bar in a pub.
Yeah, no, dude, there's no quantifiable strangeness scale. But are you seriously telling me that sword fighting a horse with a frying pan is less strange than doing an impromptu musical number in a pub?
How come Rapunzel doesn't notice her mother's obvious aging between magic hair songs?
1. This is the longest in a long time Mother Gothela's ever needed to go without rejuvenating herself. 2. If she has noticed it, Rapunzel would totally have accepted it as the norm. Mother Gothela's our only exposure to other people.
Random girl no one has ever seen before and looks exactly like the child who was kidnapped 18 years ago does not arouse any suspicion.
Oh, come on. She's like 17 years older now. How many adults do you know that you could easily recognize from a mosaic of them as a toddler? Also, you bring up the fact that no one here has ever seen Rapunzel before as if that means anything to this. This is a huge city. Most of the people here probably don't know most of the rest of the people here. I mean, I live in a small city, and if I go outside and see someone I don't know, I'm not like, suspicious.
I will never stop trying to get away from you. But if you let me save him, I will go with you.
Contradictory statements.
Yes, you of all people should complain about that, Death Star boy.
Flynn cuts a girl's hair without her foreknowledge or permission. Shit. I know why he does it, and it works, but still. Rob a girl of her special power and cut her hair all in one fell swoop? Dick move.
You're right, if you ignore all context, this does sound like a sin.
If this had been Maximus or Ryder, this fall wouldn't have hurt one bit.
She's literally dissolved by the time she hits the ground, so I'm guessing it didn't really hurt her either.
That guy went on to become the most famous concert pianist in the world, if you can believe it.
I don't.
Okay, so like the last 30 seconds of this video genuinely feels so substanceless and lazy that I think it would just fit in seamlessly to my CinemaSins parody. Or Brooks show. It's all like this.
Thanks to Maximus, crime in the kingdom disappeared almost overnight.
Wrong.
Just like, oh cool, someone said something, but I'm gonna say a word in response to that means it's not true. Do you want an explanation, some elaboration, some humor, a joke, something that isn't completely vacuous? Fuck you. So the sin total is 28, and you can probably tell that I'm sick. Hopefully you've been able to tolerate my sick voice throughout this. Although, personally, I don't really think this is something that needs to be tolerated. I wish I sounded like this all the time. I mean, like, ah. I'm just making noises into a microphone because I have a sick voice and I think it sounds good. I mean, at least better than my normal voice. Anyway, let's do a quickie review. So, I hadn't really seen Tangled since I was a kid, and it was not as good as I remember it being. Also, for some reason, nostalgia did not carry it at all. I do not feel in any way nostalgic for this movie, which is strange because most movies I watched as a child, I can enjoy just purely on nostalgia. Even if they're just, like, really bad movies, like Catwoman. I love the shit out of Catwoman because I watched it as a kid. But no, when rewatching Tangled, nothing at all. I didn't feel any nostalgia for this. But no, this very much felt like a kids movie. And I don't just mean a movie that is for kids. There are plenty of kids movies that don't just feel like kids movies. Big Hero 6, for example, is a movie that doesn't really feel like a kids movie when you watch it. It feels more like a family movie that an entire family can enjoy. Tangled, although it certainly could be watched by an entire family, didn't really seem to have anything for me to latch onto now that I'm older. One thing I did think it did really well, though, was Mother Gothel. I fucking hated her, and that's a really good thing, considering she is the villain. I couldn't tell you what it actually is that makes a difference, but it is so much more satisfying to see a villain beaten when you hate the shit out of them. And I don't think I've really hated a villain this much since Dr. Smith in Netflix's Lost in Space adaptation. It's starting to really hurt to talk, so I'm gonna go now. I hope you've enjoyed this. Goodbye.